So we had an event yesterday. It was the Saudi Arabian Esports World Cup. Now, there were a lot of streamers that were sponsored to watch this event. I actually got an opportunity to sponsor and watch the event myself. I didn't take it. I want everybody to know that it was not for a moral reason. I just didn't feel like it. Okay? I don't want anybody to think that I'm better than this. I don't want anybody to think that, oh, I'm going to talk down about this. No. I just didn't do it. Anyway. How much, though? Let's go ahead and watch the clip. I mean, if you look at, listen. Say it. If you look at my viewership, especially on YouTube, that's a big number. It's a really, really big number. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and watch this. So the Saudi Arabia is buying all the video games. And in a weird twist of fate that, I'll be honest, even I couldn't have predicted, some of the censorship in Saudi Arabian and Middle Eastern countries is less than we have here. I've seen screenshot comparisons. I don't know how this happened, but here we are. Let's go ahead and watch the clip. Here we go. There's no women.
Finally, we're going to turn to Saudi Arabia, where this Sunday we'll see the final of the Esports World Cup. It's been billed as the largest ever event in gaming and esports, and it's hosted in the Saudi capital, Riyadh. It's been going for an incredible 8 weeks with a prize pool of $60 million, but the event has been boycotted by some gamers over Saudi's poor human.
That is insane. $60 million. Oh my God.
Rights record. Joining me now is Rod.
That's like $5 for them.
Breslau, who is a gaming insider and esports consultant. Hello, Rod. Welcome to the programme. This boycott, then, is it hurting the event?
Hey, thanks for having me. Overall, I would say, personally for myself, I have not been watching. I have not been covering it. Many of my colleagues refuse to work the event, whether as a host or as a commentator. Many others, including other journalists, have refused to write about it and to report on it. I would say that there has been a good amount of backlash within especially the Western world, especially with the human rights record that you mentioned in terms of not.
Can we get a list of all the streamers that co-streamed it or were involved? I think that what you're going to see happen is that as you see more and more people that are taking money and doing this, this is going to be something that doesn't happen overnight. It's something that's going to happen over the course of 15 years. So in the course of 15 years, you're seeing the guys now who are obviously coming into it, and that and by the way, I don't really know clicks. I don't know clicks, but everybody else here, I would say I'm friendly with, and I like them. Actually, I don't really know T1, but I like T1. I don't really know him. But otherwise, I like these guys. So I'm not. By the way, I like NMP. Big surprise, right? And so I'm not calling these guys out, but what I'm saying is that when you have a bunch of big streamers and a bunch of people that are promoting this massively, I'm actually really curious to see how many people watch this. I want to know what the real numbers are. Because, we can talk about journalists not covering it, but how much is that? It's fair to say that they're morally bankrupt for the sponsorship deal, the guy hosting the event, or the assassination of a Washington Post journalist, according to the fucking CIA. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll watch the rest of it.
watching this event. Overall, it doesn't seem like the boycott has worked as much. The viewership has still been pretty good. The online engagement has still been pretty good. I believe the Saudis probably see it as a overall success so far, even with
Anything in, like, if I was them, anything that's not a huge failure would be a huge success. Because this is such a hard sell to kind of soft launch this into the West, considering the values clash, that I would consider it a huge success. I didn't even know there was a boycott. Yeah. The Saudis took your Twin Towers. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. And I was confused why we started bombing Afghanistan. I was confused. Like, why? Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, right? But I don't know whether that happened or not. As I said, bro, the best guild name I've ever heard. Why did Bush do it?
the pushback from the Western world.
It does. It all comes down to money, essentially. I mean, why else would you go to Saudi Arabia? Did esports need the money?
The
Esports absolutely needs the money. That's why they're leaning on gambling, and they're leaning on every single other type. Like, the reason why esports doesn't advertise porn directly is because the publishers of the games can exercise morality clauses to prevent people from taking certain types of sponsorships. Esports are broke because nobody's watching them. That's the reality. And the truth is that Western audiences, I actually don't know if Saudi Arabia is making a great decision, because it seems like Western audiences aren't really that supportive of esports in the same way that South American audiences, Asian audiences, at least some European audiences, and like Spanish audiences, these guys are crazy. Like in Middle Eastern audiences, like they're so supportive. Like anytime I get linked in like a top 10 streamers and like there's a Spanish guy that's not number one, all the comments are about how the Spanish guy should be number one. And whoever is number one actually sucks. Yeah, that's just how it is. They're so supportive.
And even the larger gaming world has been going through some tough times in the last couple of years in terms of the financial situation.
It's gone through a complete crash of monetization. As somebody who runs, you know, I don't run, to be honest, I really don't. But I oversee and I'm an owner of companies that deal with this. There has been a tremendous recession in the amount of money that has been invested into gaming in the past 2 years. Tremendous recession. Massive. Why? Because, so basically when you spend $100 and you want to market something, the idea is that you're going to make $110. But if you spend $100 and you make $31, COVID is not the full answer. I understand a lot of you guys like to talk about COVID. COVID was a multiplier for the values, but the values were still at a ratio that was similar. Now, this is an interesting component, and it's a psychological phenomenon that I actually didn't believe until I researched it myself. But entertainment spending actually goes up inside of recessions and other points of economic problematic, like, disparities, right? It actually goes up. So you could make that argument abstractly for COVID being a reason why values were going up. But if you even look at 2018 and 2019, pre-COVID, and I would say the last 2 or 3 months of 19 were probably COVID even then, right? Or at least with it beginning. The values and the amount of investment that people were putting into esports was going up. It was going up, 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 up. Now, COVID made it go like this, but it was still going like this. Whereas now it's going like not very, very well. And also, I think that this is another really big component to it, that this is something that's a phenomenon that's primarily in the West. because Eastern audiences are much more supportive of esports than we are. I think that for Americans, one of the reasons why esports don't catch on as much is because America has such an entrenched sports culture already that that market share is already taken up by sports, and people don't perceive esports as being equivalent to sports. That's one big reason why I think it's a hard sell in America. However, other places in the world love soccer. Like, well, they love football. And so like they love that more than we love any of our one sports, but we have so many sports, and it's so much of the marketplace of entertainment inside of America that I just think that it's there's like not enough market share for esports to exist in there.
In terms of how organizations and teams make money, but I wouldn't say this was completely necessary. There was just so overwhelmingly so much financial compensation and money injected from the Saudis that it was unable for the Western world really to turn this down. The game.
Well, it's like, why would they? Somebody says NMP peaked with 19K viewers, 15K average, and 116 new followers. It was a positive stream for him, and for most co-streams, viewers do not care. And this is really what the problem is that I don't actually think that viewers care about human rights. I don't. I think that there are outspoken viewers that care about it. But collectively, I don't think that this will indicate, like, I think that content is above everything else. That's why the Roman Colosseum, like, there weren't a lot of human rights, or let's say that, like, if you want to talk about human rights violations, I think if you look at the Roman Colosseum, we had a lot of those, right? You know, like, because people died. But, you know, sports washing works. Well, it's not that sports washing works. It's that the sports washing isn't even entirely necessary. It's that people don't really care about these things at all, other than being seen as a person who cares about them. So when it comes to actually consuming content and doing something that is entertainment based, people will choose what is the most entertaining and what they get the most value out of, rather than what's in line with what their morality is. Now, this isn't everybody. Obviously, there are going to be people that forego this for different reasons. Some people, in fact, for example, maybe they're just lazy. Other people, maybe they do have stronger moral convictions and they do care about it more than other people. But the majority of people don't care about it. And I think this is indicated by every single point on the graph of human behavior. The World Cup in Qatar, yeah, shows that people don't give a fuck about human rights. Exactly, right? And viewers care about being able to say, I was there. Exactly. There's a recent report Saudis are trying to buy tons of unsalted peanuts and hard-boiled eggs to make a crow army. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. And in my opinion, a lot of people have like a lot of... I think that the issue with like the Middle East versus like China, for example, or I think China is probably the best example, is that what the Middle East is against are things that are, and they are very openly against things that are extremely like politically divisive and socially politically divisive, in a way that like they're against gay people. And like here, you can't be against gay people. But like China has a little bit different censorship, and that censorship isn't as antithetical to like the virtue culture, like the cultural virtues that we have, right? And I think that's why people have, I think, a double standard. There is clearly a double standard here. You're saying most people in the world don't care about human rights? I want to make it so clear that nobody can misunderstand this. If you could sell the soul of a person on the other side of the world for $50, I bet most people would do it enough times to become a millionaire. If you could push a button to kill somebody on the other side of the world that would give you $1,000, I think people would smash the fuck out of it. I don't think they give a fuck about human rights. I don't think they care about it even in the slightest. And whenever I say they, I'm not talking about you, the unique moral crusader who's completely morally good and you always do the right thing. I'm talking about human beings as a collective. And I think that this is proven over and over and over. And I understand that this is a Joker speech, but keep in mind that this was a cartoon. And in a lot of cases, the Joker, in fact, wins in real life. That's such a crazy thing to say. It is. I know. I know that it's crazy. But in a world that's spinning, when you stop spinning, you're the one who looks dizzy. I'm not crazy. I'm not the person who's delusional. I see this and I look at it every single fucking time. I see it happen every single fucking time. And I think this is just a pattern that's so universal that it's completely insurmountable. And I think that I realized this, like I had my own reality check with this with gambling. I did. Because I'm very anti-gambling. I really don't like gambling. Saudi Arabians agree with me in this fact. I don't like gambling at all. And I pushed to get gambling removed. And I learned that my opinion doesn't matter. Nobody cares. That's it. And I'm anti-gambling and gotcha. What about stock trading? Stock trading is not the same as playing a slot machine. That's an oversimplification that any stupid person would think is funny for 3 seconds, but anybody who thinks about it longer than that would realize that it's stupid. That's why tweets like that get very popular on Twitter, but anywhere else they are immediately looked at as being stupid. So yes, people did not listen to me. I have learned that my morality and what I think is the right thing to do is not relevant to anybody else. It's just simply not. And I've tried to make it relevant to other people, and they've hated me for it. And then I looked at it from their perspective, and I realized that I could see why they felt that way. Because when people try to make their moral problems relevant to me, I hate them for that too. And so I do think that this is true. I don't think that people fundamentally care about human rights at all. In fact, I don't even think they're real. Nobody does, by the way. Every single government that has a list of human rights violates them all the time for the people that they just don't like enough. That's the real truth. It's all fake. Because we're monkeys. Do you believe in constitutional rights? Of course, I believe in all of them. Absolutely, I believe in them. But I just know that these are... I know that it is a belief. Does that make sense? It's a belief in an ideal. And it's not backed up by any... There's no gold standard for this. It's fiat currency. This is what I'm trying to get at. And so, yes, I think this is what is only going to continue. It's not the law of nature. Yes. They're abstract concepts. Yes. It's a belief, not a fact, correct? Yes. Gambling still exists on Twitch, and sports betting is pushed heavily. Yes, you're absolutely right. And so, and this is a funny thing, is that I think slots is a lot worse than sports betting. Like, I do. I think it's worse. However, more people destroy their lives over sports betting than slots. Believe not fact? Yep, there we go. Humans have been conquering each other for as long as they've been alive. Yep. What I'm aware about, some people don't care about almost anything because they want to simulate their dopamine. Somehow reminds me of Don't Look Up and Idiocracy. It's not like, I mean, all right, let me just go back, because I have so much to say about this. I'm so opinionated about this. By the way, this stream is brought to you by DraftKings. There is a good chance that you guys will get an advertisement for DraftKings by watching my stream talking about how much I don't like gambling. Because Twitch and Amazon has a partnership with DraftKings. So whether I like it or not, I am advertising gambling. I am advertising something that will literally kill people. Fuck. I need to call up my guy and start investing into funeral homes. in the coffins. Yeah. Death too far? No, people kill themselves over gambling all the time. This is what people do, right? Is they gamble, they chase losses, they run out of money, they run out of chances, they run out of options, they're at a dead end, and they kill themselves. That's the way it is, right? It's like you basically you run out of lives in Mario. And then they shoot themselves or cut their wrists or something like that, right? Or overdose on drugs. Like that's just how it is. Yeah, I mean that's what gambling does. Like I mean I facts of life. Sad but true. Yeah. I wonder how many people have killed themselves as an outcome of watching an advertisement on my stream for DraftKings or other types of gambling. I wonder what the number for that is. 0? But for how long? That's an interesting question, isn't it? If you love natural selection, why are you against gambling? I'm against manipulative behavior that is malicious. And I believe it to be manipulative and malicious. So that's the reason why. It's unnatural.
Publishers and the game developers
Let me go back just real quick.
Have money injected from the Saudis that
Big
it was
money.
unable
Big money.
for
Crazy
the West
money.
really to turn this down. The game publishers and the game developers who make these video games and who own the IPs
That's right.
could have said no. They could have refused to work with the Saudis. They could have refused them to be able to...
Right. Like Riot, for example, that's owned 100% by Tencent, which is a Chinese company, which all Chinese companies require an agent or a connection with the Chinese government. Right. And China's perspective on this is totally... Oh, wow. What a surprise that they're not okay with... Why would these companies...
to use their games in this tournament, but they relented. And ultimately, they are the ones that are in control of this entire ecosystem. If the game publishers did not want this partnership to happen, they had the opportunity to do so, but they went...
They really don't. Like, I disagree with Slasher about this, because if Saudi Arabia and these different countries wanted to do it, and they told Saudi Arabia no, and Saudi Arabia just did it anyway, then what? Like, then what? It's like they can't really do anything, right? I mean, it's just a company. Yeah, it's reverse retaliation. Yeah, like there's no you can't stop them from doing it. They can cry. Sanctions exist. You think the government is going to go? Do you think the American public is going to want to push a sanction on a company because they don't want, on an entire country, because the intellectual property of a video game is being... This is like such an like that's crazy that you think nobody is going to support that. Nobody actually cares about that. Yeah, we're going to go to World War III over FIFA and League of Legends. Like, absolutely nobody cares.
Went ahead and they took the
sanctioning
finance.
Saudi Arabia.
You did just very quickly say the entire ecosystem. Are you saying that Saudi Arabia has more control over the esports industry, not just this event?
Yes, they most recently bought the ESL Faceit Group for $1 billion.
That's for ESL Faceit is for Counter-Strike.
They have a general monopoly over many of the video games that are played in the esports ecosystem, and they launched this...
Excuse me, I didn't know this. It's also for Dota. I didn't know that.
...system, and they launched this event as well. So while you see in golf, they have created the LIV Tour, and in Formula One, they're investing in certain races. Here...
And you can see Pepsi and these other sponsors that are... This is clever, by the way. That are all supporting this and putting their money into this. It's because these companies don't really care about any of these human rights. They don't care about any of these Western values. They only care about money. They exist to make money.
in esports, it would be like they bought the PGA Tour. If they had
Yeah,
bought
they
almost
tried
like
to.
half the Formula One races, the investment
Yeah.
that the Saudis are putting into esports and video games is far greater than what they are doing in golf and in wrestling and in racing. So
That's because it's a smaller economy and they can monopolize it more easily. And I think they're making a really good decision. If I were the Saudi Arabians, I would be doing this too. Because it seems like they're concerning themselves. And I think the prince and like the guys that are running the country are actually pretty smart. It seems like they are, right? Because like obviously oil isn't going to last forever because different types of energy are going to be discovered and created just over time, no matter what, even if you don't run out of oil. And they need to have an economy that will last in 250 years. Like that's the reason why is they're trying to build an like an entertainment economy that will transcend their natural resources. I really think that they know what they're doing. MBS is crazy smart and evil, sadly. Oh, is that the main guy? Yeah. I mean, these guys, and this is another big mistake that I see a lot of people make. They think these guys are stupid. The guys over that are running shit in China and that are running shit in Saudi Arabia and Dubai and Qatar, these guys they're smart guys. Their parents probably spent a good amount of time with them. They learned a lot from their parents who are also smart. They went to the best schools. They were sent to the best universities in the world. They were, educated in the best ways and had every opportunity in the world. Nepo babies? Yes, they're Nepo babies, but they also start with a high amount of talent points as well, right? They do. Absolutely. And so, you like, power equals smart. I would say that in general, intelligence, there's a lot of different types of intelligence, right? And I think that some intelligence is hereditary. I think some is inheritable, but not necessarily hereditary. I think that there's also types of intelligence that is like just kind of, you can learn. But I'm saying that a lot of these guys, they're at the top of the decision-making categories because there's a lot of people, I bet there's guys in like the Saudi royal family who are dumbasses. And you know what they do? They buy Lamborghinis and they drive them into a building and then they buy another Lamborghini the next day and that's their life. That's what they do. And, if that's Ahmed, right? Ahmed loves doing that and that's great. Good for him. He's happy. And so you're not having all of them make decisions. You're having the ones that are smart making the fucking decisions. Because it's the same, look at Peaky Blinders. Who's making Thomas Shelby's making the fucking decisions. They're not all three sitting around like, oh yeah, what are we gonna do? He's figuring shit out, and they're like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. Let's go with Tom. Yeah, let's go with Tommy. He knows what he's doing. So yes, this is the way it is with everything. It's the same as it was back in the Middle Ages. You think that there's 8 kids, and then they're all gonna sit down and be like, what are we gonna do? No. The odds are there's like probably 2 of them that think that they're smart. One of them kills each other. And then the other 7 or 6 are like, all right, he does pretty much know it better than me. I'm just going to, I'll listen to my brother. He knows what he's doing. That's it. Yeah, of course, that's the way it happens. Duh. Fucking duh. What do you expect? Right into coattails? Yeah. And it happens here in the US too. Like, it's like, here's a good example. Trump has like a bunch of different kids. Do all of his kids come up and start talking? No. Only like 2 of them do. And do you want to know the reason why? Is because probably a lot of the other ones are dumb. That's it. Yeah, or smart. Yeah, or smart. Who knows? Right, Barons? Yeah. Or smart. They don't want to do it.
what they're doing here is much worse off in terms of what's happening.
Okay, Rob, we just ran out of time. Rod Breslow, thank you very much.
Oh, we cut them off. They cut the tapes. Yep, there we go. Let me see if I can find out any more information about this too. Give me a second. Saudi Arabia World Esports controversy. See if I can find a bit more about this. There's like 2 more. Oh. This is so fucking funny. Oh my god. I remember watching this. I saw this clip, bro. This shit is so good. I've seen it. Sorry.
I would be honored to invite you to the stage.
I guarantee you, by the way, that they didn't tell him he had to do this. He's just doing this because he's farming. He's just farming. And people are so mad. It's so fucking funny. Watch.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there he is. Oh my God, there he is.
Please welcome to the stage your club winners. It's Team Falcons. General Director Mohammed El Materi, Global Esports Director Grant Rousseau, and CEO Masad Al Dossari.
I wonder which is his favorite game.
Doesn't the Saudi Arabian prince have a public profile on Steam, and his profile picture is a anime girl? Yeah. Nekapara? Oh, God.
That guy almost tripped.
Yeah, he did. Man, amazing. His favorite game is Dota 2 and he spends millions on compendiums. Good for him, man. Good for him. Oh my fucking God. And so, yeah, I get this guy's referencing. No, there were a lot of people that were unhappy about it, and they were really, really pissed. And it's been crazy for me to see this happen because I think it's just going to keep becoming more and more relevant. It's going to be becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And I saw that the Saudi Arabian takeover of esports continues. And you remember with all the people that were really angry about this whenever it came out. They were really mad whenever it got announced and all these like people were talking about it. But is the actual viewership being affected? It seems as though it's not.
Is Saudi Arabia using the Esports World Cup to sports wash? Sports washing, by definition, is the practice of nations or governments using sports to improve reputations tarnished by wrongdoing. I'm not
Absolutely.
really stating an opinion here. I'm just being the messenger because I did read some comments about our last Esports World Cup videos.
That's not the only reason, but that's absolutely they're doing that.
Of people saying that Saudi Arabia is using this World Cup as a sports washing technique. But since I've seen several comments, I figured I'd open up the floodgates and see if any of you have any opinions you want to share in the comments of this.
Okay. I thought this was going to be somebody. Yeah. I'll see if there's any more about this. Money for silence. Yep. Tyler 1 went to the Saudi Esports Cup. Yep. There we go. Esports takeover. Oh, yep. It's becoming big, guys. Massive. They're trying to fix your image for a long time. Yeah, I know you typed it like 50 times, bro. Like, they made 2 of the biggest football clubs play in Saudi Arabia, but fans used Ataturk's flag before the game. The guy abolished the caliphate, and every religious thing related to the Ottoman Empire was a huge drama that didn't change the Saudi image. I don't know what the fuck. Like, that's some, like, listen, like, Ottoman Empire, like, this is some fucking, like, 300-year-old drama with, like, the Constantinople. Like, I mean, are they still mad about this? I don't know why they're like 1800 shit. Yes. Like, I don't know. 300? Well, I feel like, Ottoman Empire is like what, like 500 years ago? Like, I mean, it went on for hundreds of years, but like it started like, I'd say like what, 600-700 years ago? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. 1400s. Ended 1970. Yeah. I think it was somewhere around there. It ended after World War I. Yeah, because that was after they changed, like, the names of a lot of the countries there and everything. Fuck. That's actually, to be fair, that's fucking crazy. That is insane. Ottoman Empire officially ended in 1923. Yeah, that is crazy. Ottoman started in the 1300s. Well, you've got to remember, like, they took Constantinople in mid-1400s. That was 1452 or 53 when they took it over. And so, but, like, at that point, right, the guy that took it over was the son of another guy who was also the king. And, like, this has happened. So, like, at that point, they were already cooking. They were all like, this was like, it's not like this is like their first, you know, they were just trying to show up and show out, right? They had been cooking for a while. So that's what I was saying. I think it was there. Fall of Byzantine. Yeah, which was the Holy Roman Empire. There it is. No, I've spent some time. Look, I grew up playing Age of Empires too. Okay, I'm not a wizard or an expert or anything like that. But you know, not just Roman, not Holy Roman Empire is Germany. The guy that lost the Byzantine Empire was, I don't know. The Roman Empire is not the Holy Roman Empire. That's why I fucking said the difference. I literally fucking said that. Everybody. Oh, okay, look, let's move on. It's after. It's way after. Germany, maybe. Yes, there you go. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Hello? Hey.
The began in Ottoman Empire began in 1299, ended in 1923.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like 700 years.
Huh?
So it's like 700 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do the math on that.
Something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but that, you know, that's right before the 1300s.
Yeah. So like by the time they took over Constantinople, it had been like 7 generations, which is what I was saying. I was right.
Wait a minute, I got a bad ear. What? Tell me again.
Well, they took over Constantinople in 1450s, and so this was like this is like way later on.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
And then it ended with the Turkish War of Independence, which was I think it was 1914. No, wait a minute. Abolition of the empire, monarchy, 1922.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
that's the, you know, yeah.
All right.
Really interesting history there.
No, it is. It's been going on for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, what a bunch of nice guys.
Still bringing it up. All right.
Guys.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
All right, yo,
All right. Yo. Bye.
Yo, bye-bye.
Yeah, my dad, he knows a lot. He knows more of that shit than I do. And so, yeah, there it is. And live community note. Yeah, something like that, right? No, yeah. He knows quite a bit. And what's this? Saudi Arabian prince has the highest Steam account level. His name is Stick. The Saudi Arabian prince has the highest Steam account level. I'm not surprised. But yeah, Saudi Arabian influence is going to become even bigger and bigger. I'll watch a video about it, and I'll talk about how this is going to happen. And also, this is like my take on it, because like I find this to be incredibly interesting, because I think that Saudi Arabia is absolutely trying to like change their image. But I think that in trying to change their image, they will succeed in changing their image. And I think that it will shift their society. I think it will. I think in 50 years, we'll see a very different Saudi Arabia than what we see now. And we will change too. Yeah, we will. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I'll be right back. I think it's very interesting. It is.